what's up, everybody? Welcome aboard. It is Trading Live with Bubba. It is February 20th, Tuesday, and market's a little wacky today. Down heavy, and then had a little bit of a turnaround. And as we can take a look at the short-term chart, you can see we're getting a little bit of a bounce. Actually, could potentially create some trades in here. Certainly, we have an opportunity to look and sell the euro currency. So why don't we go ahead and take a look at that? Okay, right now, before we look at anything else. So we're waiting for a red bar to appear here, and then we can justify where our stop is going to be, and we can also then put in a trade in an order and see what we're looking for. One thing we always do is that once we get filled, if you're using micros, you should be trading multiples, more like two, so you can take one off at a profit at some point, and you can actually increase your average. That's what we'll look to do. But again, that's certainly, we didn't even have a trade yet, but we should get one here shortly. But the markets are moving up a little bit. You can see this is a 1 minute chart, but the NASDAQ is now popping. The S&P is popping. The Russell's popping a little bit, as is the Dow. And we're still waiting. Crude is getting hammered. Okay. We're looking for the euro currency. Gold is sideways and the notes are sideways. So that's kind of the ones we look to trade, and we're waiting for an opportunity. We have to wait until the bar completes. Okay. And so when this bar completes in 40 seconds, then if it's red, we will take a trade. And if you're watching at home, figure 35.5. If you're trading the regular size, 35.5 or below. If you're trading the micro, 35 or below. Okay, so right now we would have a trade, but we still don't have a trade because it has to confirm and has to stay down here. We are obviously giving up some ticks, but we're not worried about that. We're worried to make sure that we don't get in too soon and get trapped in a quick turnaround. Okay, so this is pretty high probability that we're going to get a trade here, but I'm going to wait and be patient. All right, you can go ahead and sell it if you're a seller, and your stop is now going to be at 108.49. 108.49 will be the stop. Okay, you should have an order working below at approximately 108.23, somewhere in that neighborhood. Okay, that would be the appropriate place for a stop, or for to buy one back or whatever. Okay, and that's what we'd be looking for. All right, but we do have a trade on. All right, and it is slightly profitable, about 4 or 5 ticks. So now we'll just sit back and wait and let it trade, and we've got our stop working. And let's see if it falls our favor, and let's go back and see if there's anything else worth looking at right now. Volumes are pretty light, so it's not that big a deal. Now, interestingly enough, okay, we're getting a reversal already on the euro currency. So now go ahead and put your stop at break even, okay, because I know that this is going to be a buy, okay? So put your stop at break even on the euro currency right now. Keep your orders working below in case they get filled without getting stopped. But now we're going to take out, when I say break even, that means enough to cover your commissions and make enough for a cup of coffee, okay? That's what we call break even here, okay? Or as they're known in some circles as Bubba burgers, all right? But in the meantime, we have no risk on this trade remaining, but we do have a potential profit, and we're not going to be in a hurry to reverse it, but we're going to let it, but we're going to make sure that we take out a profit from this trade, or at least, as I said, a break even, which is a very small profit, but a profit just the same. Okay. So we're in, we're waiting, and not much doing. Okay. I myself just got stopped. So I made $14. I'm rich. Okay. And now we can actually take a buy on this trade now. Okay. So actually it's a total reverse if you'd like to participate. Okay. And your stop on the other side now will be 108.14. Okay. 108.14. And you will set a target to sell one about 10 ticks higher while you're waiting. Okay. And we'll see what happens. And let's see if it gives us another signal. And right now, not. So right now, pretty quiet. Okay. So let's just take a quick rundown of what's going on in the overall markets in general. Apple came down to support at 180. You know, that's our target. We've been watching to look to sell potential put spreads. Amazon, we're looking for about 165 to sell some put spreads. Coin, naturally, it broke down from the upper end there. Right now, not much to do. It still is overbought. It was well overbought. But again, I'm not going to chase it down. It's down $22 from its recent high. It's just one I got to watch. There's no reason for me to even think about getting involved in this right now. Meta, churning in the middle of nowhere. 480 would be a potential sell spot. 450 would actually sell call spreads. 450 would be a place to sell put spreads. Google, 145 to sell call spreads, 140 to sell put spreads. IWM was very overbought, excuse me. I'd like to see a rally back to 204. Okay, right now in here, I'm not doing anything. Microsoft at 400, sell some put spreads. NVIDIA, ooh, getting waxed. I got earnings this week, so it's hard to want to get involved in NVIDIA. I would say probably best to stay away right now in this. The Qs, 425 would be, we got there earlier. Sell some put spreads. Square, earnings this week, so I would sit it out. 495 on the spiders. Tesla, 180. Win, 100. Okay, and those are areas that we'd be looking for to sell either call or put spreads of spending. And obviously, if there's some major movement the other way, then opposite of what they're doing now, we would look at some resistance levels to potentially take a shot. But right now, there's nothing going on. Our new trade is down a little bit right now, but obviously nowhere near our stop. It's more closer to our entry right now. So now let's just go back and see what's happening here. And again, there's very little volume, so there's very little action in most markets right now. Not a real lot to get excited about in order to try to do here. So we'll just, again, one of the biggest keys you can always remember about the world of trading is to be patient and wait for it. Okay. Again, the markets are open 241 days a year. There is no reason to try to be smarter than the market and try to outjump it. Just wait for it. And if you wait for it, you have a much better chance to do your thing. Okay. That's really what it comes down to. Okay. Why force yourself or put yourself in bad positions when you don't have to? I think that's, people don't get that and don't realize it, that you're certainly, can just wait for it, because the amount of money that you will make, okay, will outgain whatever you're taking if you wait and be patient. If you force trades, well, then you're playing a fool's game. Okay. So again, we're pretty quiet right in here. Not much to think about, not much to do. Our one position we have on is pretty close to break even again. So again, there's nothing I'm going to do with it. I'm going to wait and see. But there is a case to be made that it will go higher from here. But again, we'll see. There's no guarantee. Crude oil is getting ready to make another move one way or the other. That we don't know yet, but we will be willing to participate if it makes a big move on volume, either direction. I don't have any direction in mind on anything that we're looking at here. It is all based on the volume. It is all based on which way it's going, because basically on heavy volume, on a big spike up, we're a seller. On a big spike down, we're a buyer. It's really that simple. And when there's no volume and no action, there's no real reason to get involved. Okay. For this particular model that we're trading here. Okay. So we sit and we watch and we wait. And again, there is nothing really to do. It is very quiet, which is not a total surprise. I think the big sell early, okay, that took the NASDAQ down over almost 300 was interesting. And the other thing you want to watch, is the VIX. Okay. The VIX itself is good for all markets. The VIX is rallying a little bit, and it is a little bit overbought. Now, if it continues to stay up here, then it would indicate we're probably going back to the downside. If it starts to sell off, it would mean that probably the temporary bottoms are in. So right now, based on where we're sitting, the selling should continue. The depth and how much selling, that we can't really say yet. Okay, because there is really no panic. The market is more orderly than anything else right now. Again, just because the market is down a couple of hundred, those numbers are not that big. Okay, it is something to remember that you're looking at more of a percentages, not at the dollar amounts. Because if you've been trading long enough, when I started trading, the Dow was 800. Okay, so right now, again, there's very little to do. We sit back and we watch and wait. And again, the hardest part in this business is to be patient enough to sit back and do nothing and say, I can wait. Too many of you want to always be involved and be jumping in when you have no business in, because you're really just taking a guess or basically flipping a coin as to which way you think the markets are going to go. And why would you want to do that? That is always my question. Okay. If I want to flip a coin, why should I waste my time and take that much risk? Okay. Now, there are other styles to trade, but there isn't a style other than swing trading that I could think that I'd want to get involved right now, what I'm watching. Okay. And I think that is important to understand from any standpoint of the markets, that there's very little activity right now. I mean, certainly I could make a case to be a buyer of crude. It's support, but I'm not looking to make a case. I'm looking for the market to give me a reason to trade it. And right now, it's giving me nothing. It's giving me the finger, telling me that I got nothing to do here. So, okay, then I got nothing to do. That's fine. Okay. I don't mind not trading. I don't mind waiting. Okay. I think this is the hard part of the business, is the patience that it has to take to go with it. And until it gives me some sort of a reason, I'm not going to trade it. So just continue to watch it and hang out. The euro currency that we're long is coming to a key spot. It really must hold. It really must hold right here, or we probably have problems. Okay. That would be a key area that I'd be watching. But again, it's not going to change where my stop is at. Okay. It's not going to change anything. But again, I just recognize that that's a pretty key spot as to whether it's going to let me make money in this trade or take me out. And right now it's kind of holding. But again, now there is a little bit of volume in the 1 minute. Let me just go back to that's the 4. I'm sorry. That's the right one. So right now, again, there's not much going on, but you could get some volume here, which could mean one of the things we do also is if we get another blow off without getting a stopped out, we will add on to our current position. Now, we don't have it yet, so there's nothing for me to do with it right now. But should it occur, and at some point during our training together, it will occur, and we will get an add-on. But right now, we're not. Okay. And of course, if you do get the add-on, you want it to bring your average down far enough to make it worth adding. Okay. And those are just little things to remember. To remember. So there we go. Maybe we will get it. Now we're not going to get an add-on, and we're just going to sit here with a trade that's not doing very well at the moment, but that's also fine. Okay, again, we have to remember that, you know, we just have to suck it up and hang out. Okay, because we're not going to get an add-on. So we're just kind of sitting here. We're down 4 or 5 ticks. Okay. And we made a little bit on our first trade. So again, right now, not much to think about, not much to do. Just kind of hanging out and watching the paint dry, as they say. Now, interesting enough, it looks like the Dow might continue higher. It looks like the NASDAQ might continue higher. Again, there's no guarantee, but those are things that you look at and watch and start to observe about markets. And you notice that crude oil is still sitting in this little range here. Okay, not giving you much to do, not giving you much to say. So here we are, waiting. Sucks. But that's all we can do is wait. Okay. That is the hardest part of the business, is the waiting. Meantime, there's nothing else developing. There's no stories developing. We're just in a very slow period as we sit back and wait for some potential opportunity, which does not appear to be coming. Okay, so now we're just going to probably end up focusing on getting out of this one trade we have on. And of course, we will see if it will give us an exit. But it did kind of hold. Basically, if you look at that line I drew, I mean, it didn't really break through it. It's kind of just hovering. Okay. And now we're heading potentially back towards the break-even area. Now, based on what I'm watching, this trade is not going to finish by the time we're finished. So the words of advice I will give you is, if it gets back above your entry, okay, then put your stop in at break-even, okay, and let it go and cancel your orders above and just let it run, knowing that you have no risk and you have a free run at a big winner with no risk. Now, we're not there yet, so there's nothing we can do. We're slightly stuck, 3 or 4 ticks. So that's what we're waiting for. But again, that will be the overall picture, and that would be the game plan as we go forward. Okay, like I said, it does not appear in the next minute we're going to be able to get out or move our stop. So those are your instructions, is to move your stop. Okay, should we get past, like, for example, if you're in the 33, if it gets to 35 or 36, move your stop to break even. Okay, if we get there. And that is, again, right now what we're watching, because now we'd be more interested in exiting, but not giving up. But the trade, and the reason we put the trade on, is now over. Okay, so now it's managing the trade itself. So we'll see what happens here. All right. So I'll see you back here tomorrow with the update. And then, of course, on Thursday with the full show. In the meantime, in your Euro currency, if you're in, remember, if it gets past your break even, put your stop in at break even. Have a great day, everybody. I'll see you back here tomorrow with an update, and Thursday with the whole show. Adios.